Hello everyone, welcome to my Rolex 24 review. I know it's a bit late. I went from the extreme wet of Daytona to the extreme cold of Indianapolis, and getting out of the house, I really wanted to limit my time outside. First and foremost, thank you to all of you who subscribed after my preview video. As of this recording, I have 26 subscribers, which I was hoping for maybe 5 or 10 at the most. 26 just blew me away, so thank you all so much. Let's just get right into it. All my predictions, not all of them, most of them didn't come true. I did say on Motorsport 101 that I predicted that the PR1 Mathiasen car would not get on the podium in LMP2. I was right, although my logic was kind of faulty. I did say that Dragon Speed was going to win. I figured with two cars they should do pretty well, so they did. Unfortunately, my Mazda pick and DPI didn't do so well, but we'll get into all that in a little bit here. We'll go class by class. We'll start with LMP2 because, quite frankly, there were only 4 cars, so why not? Never short of entertainment. Several cautions came out. In fact, the last caution of the race came out because of an LMP2 car that spun. I think it was the class-leading car at the time. The biggest contact of the nighttime period was with the 52 LMP2 car and the 85 JDC. That's what set the PR1 Mathiasen car back so far. So that was basically LMP2 in a nutshell. Dragon Speed won it. That's really it. Let's head out to DPI now. Mazda started off on pole and started off strongly, but unfortunately through the night, the 77 car had a bit of an engine issue and had some flame coming out of the back, like all the memes that we've seen so far on social media. The 55 had its own issues as well, but I mean, let's face it, when you've had 2 cars that fail within 10 minutes, it's hard to look for any positives here, except the fact that they did very well in qualifying, and at the start of the race they did do well. Sebring, maybe a bit better for them with the engines not being stressed as much. We might see them do better. They did do well last year at Sebring until the last pit stop, so we'll have to see about that. My pick to win was the number 7 car. They finished in 2nd place. Alexander Rossi did do the end of the race for them. And let's face it, Fernando Alonso on the wet, no one was going to beat him. He did a very good job for Wayne Taylor Racing. The car seemed to come alive, especially when the rain came down during the night. Felipe Nasr did a good job to try and stay with him, but unfortunately, you're not going to be able to overcome Alonso's talent, especially in the rain. It was a good job to see so many cars finish in DPI. I mean, granted, there were some that had issues, but we did see a decent amount finish. Props also to Core Autosport. They were 4th overall. They got the car basically a month and a half ago. That's when they decided to run this. Great job being 4th overall. Fantastic job. Dropping down a little bit to GTLM. I had said this, pick the 4 GTs. Well, they weren't looking so well early in the race, but later on in the race they were looking really good. Ford was leading late in the going. Unfortunately, they decided to pit for strategy, and the number 25 BMW M8 won the class overall. Good for Colton Herta, his first ever GT race. I mean, unless you count the touring car race he did, well, a different class at Laguna last year. But anyway, his first 24-hour endurance race, and he gets the class win in GTLM. Great job for him in BMW. Only 18 years old, and he's getting ready to do a full IndyCar season with Harding Steinbrenner Racing. Good job keeping the car on the track. Let's face it, a lot of people were having difficulties with that during the rain. With GT Daytona, 23 cars, Pro-Am lineups, really had a lot of variables in it. It was pretty good. Unfortunately, we had an issue with the monoplast by land car after the race with drive time, but that elevated the number 12 Aim Vasser Sullivan Lexus RCF3 GT3 car to 2nd place. That was the team's first endurance race, really first race since deciding to partner with Lexus 3.5 months ago. Aaron Telitz, his first ever sports car race, he gets a 2nd place. Townsend Bell was his co-driver. Jess Siegel with them too. It was a great drive for all 4 drivers. When we look at who else was in the class winning car, that was the Grasser Racing Team entry for the second year in a row. The number 33 Mercedes AMG car went off in the last 30 minutes, and so did Daniel Morat in the monoplast by land car. Two class leaders off in the last 30 minutes. It's crazy, but with the rain, it's what was going to happen, unfortunately. Cars that are very, very low to the track, once you get enough water underneath them, they're basically surfboards, basically. It wasn't good. My class prediction was the number 57 car. They had contact late in the race. They had to spend some time in the garage area, and unfortunately, they finished P13. My dark horse was the Via Italia Racing Ferrari with it was the number 13 car with the mostly Brazilian lineup. They had a few issues during the race, and they finished pretty far down the order as well. Not ideal for them too. Going back to just the both GT classes overall, balance of performance was pretty good between both classes. While Porsche did lead quite a bit in GTLM, Ferrari was close behind, Ford was close behind them. Corvette, really, they didn't lead as much or barely at all actually in GTLM, but you saw 4 or 5 cars within the shot most of the time. So although Porsche was leading quite a bit, you had a lot of cars there close by, and especially in GT Daytona, all 8 manufacturers finished within the top 9 cars, which is amazing after 24 hours, well, 23 hours and 50 minutes. To have everyone that close was very good. Not everyone was on the same lap, but after 23 hours and 50 minutes, what do you expect? IMSA, race control. So they had a couple of difficult decisions to make. They red flagged the race twice for rain. I may not necessarily have agreed with them red flagging it the first time, because if you have cars circulating, you can get rid of the water. Unfortunately, with the rain the second time around, with the red flag the second time around, I mean, they had ultimately no choice. The cars were just aquaplaning all over the place, and even if you slowed down quite a bit, you were not going to be able to control it that well. Roger Penske said that it was torrential rain. I believe Lawrence Vanthoor said the same thing. So when you have so much water on the ground and you have cars that are just barely going over the top of it, it's too difficult to go on with. So yeah, IMSA did the right thing red flagging it the second time. I just wish they could have said sooner, hey, we're not going to get going again, we're just going to call it here, and they would have been applauded for it a lot sooner. They said, hey, 2 o'clock, we're going to send out an announcement, but unfortunately it was quite a bit longer before they were able to get word out about the race ending. Big props to Risi Competizione. It was their first race of the year. They are going to try and do Le Mans. IMSA, the rest of the year, they don't have any idea what they're going to do. So for them being their possibly only start for the season, for them to do that well, great job by them. So overall, it was an interesting race. Unfortunately, the rain really made it a bit of a disappointment towards the end. But, I mean, you can't control the weather, especially at a time like this. And having that much rain, it wasn't good. So yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'll be at St. Petersburg, and we'll see what takes place later on. Have a good one, y'all. Stay awesome. Bye.